All right, we want to take you live to El Cajon, where SkyFOX is above a chase that is happening between that vehicle and police.
Yeah, we don't know a whole lot of details, but obviously this person is flying through a residential neighborhood right now. Again, don't know a lot as far as where this person is coming from or where they potentially are heading to, but you see them right there. I don't know if they just went on the sidewalk, but it certainly looks like they may have, and now whipping around to a out of that residential neighborhood anyway, and now on the wrong side of the street. As soon as we get kind of some details on where in El Cajon, we're going to get it to you, but this person obviously is driving with some reckless abandon. It looks like they're going the wrong direction. If it looks like what we just saw here a moment ago from the street, what was painted on the street, now back into this residential area, and looks like this person is getting into what looks like a garage carport area. Police getting out of the vehicle, and a chase may be ensuing. SkyFOX is going to have to swing around here to give us a better idea, Maria, of what's going on. But you see these law enforcement officers now running to try to put an end to this thing. It looks like, based on what we're seeing from their body language there, that the first officer very well may have this person in custody.
Yeah, and again, we don't know exactly why they're even chasing this person to begin with, or what started this entire pursuit, but a number of police vehicles obviously there in response to this person. Oh, we see them running down the street here on the sidewalk.
Yeah, this is not over. Obviously, a bunch of officers just did a 180, kind of turned on a dime, and started to run. I don't know if it was after the first person, but maybe after a second person who was in that vehicle. That would make sense. And here they are. They're trying to figure out. They're asking some questions. Have you seen the other person? I'm going to assume, and not 100%.
I don't know if did they actually get the suspect in custody. I can't tell from where we're watching it from. Okay, it is difficult to tell, but
yeah, hard to tell if there was one person in the vehicle and they got the person in custody, or that person got away, or if there were two people or more in the vehicle who they then realized, hey, they're on the run right now, and these officers are trying to figure it out. Now, if there were a couple people that have somebody on the run, they're trying to figure out where they were, they could be anywhere, relative to where those officers were just a couple moments ago, hiding behind a vehicle, hiding in a vehicle, or elsewhere, because there's seems like a lot of spots where they could be. So now comes the effort to try to find this person.
Yeah, it happened we're hearing from our producer right now that it started as a traffic violation and police tried to stop them. We don't know the specifics of the traffic violation, but again, it looks like they've lost sight of the suspect in this case. They did pull into that carport, Andrew, and it's interesting to me that that person either managed to get away or there was another person who was in the vehicle. We do not know at this time. Of course, we're working to find that out, but quite a response if you can see all those vehicles, those police vehicles that are in the area. If
you look at how many police vehicles there are, I can count a dozen right there, and it's curious that they all went to the same spot, and yet there was an opening for somebody to potentially get away. Again, don't know if it was the one driver or maybe a second person, but man, look at all those vehicles. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, more than a dozen vehicles right there, all kind of focused on the same area. And it looks like is that one person who is in custody, or at least they're talking to. Excuse me, there's people they're talking to. Yep, trying to look at witnesses, say, hey, did you see somebody? You see where this person may have gone? Because all those officers went one way, and obviously one or more people went another way.
Went a different direction. Again, we're just trying to figure out exactly some of the details of this. Obviously, started as a traffic violation. You can see somebody there in custody. He appears to be shirtless. That's what it looks like at this point, or this vantage point. But there may be others who are missing as well. Or
take a look at the right side of the screen.
There's a child coming out of that vehicle.
An officer who is holding a child. Again, don't know if that was just a kid who happened to be in this carport area and all this kind of just came at them really quickly, or possibly if the child may have been in the vehicle. We just don't know at this point. We're just watching as you are, trying to figure it out as we see that officer picking that child up and handing the child to a woman. So presumably that was just a kid who happened to be in the carport and kind of ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time and has now with that woman. But there's appears to be at least one person that they're looking for in addition to the person who was in custody.
We're hearing that this is near, I was trying to figure out the area that this was in El Cajon. It's near Broadway, and that's what we know so far. It's near Broadway. And again, that area is probably going to see some traffic backup. It is a residential neighborhood, but as people try to return home from work at this time of day. You know, obviously all those police vehicles there and all the police that are in the area will create some slowdowns for people trying to get home.
Now, these are people who live there. Kind of a scary situation. Certainly, you see a dozen police officers pulling up, you know, in a car that was really kind of out of control and driving awfully fast and dangerously, pulling into that carport area. Might be that they pulled back in there because they know the area. Might be that they're just trying to find a place to hide. But certainly there's some people who are kind of turning into witnesses here who may have seen somebody who got out of that vehicle, trying to figure out if there is in fact somebody else. These officers don't seem to be searching for that person if there is, but the other officers on the other side are. So we're going to try to get some more information here for you. We can bring it to you as we go on here in the broadcast, but did want to bring you these live pictures from SkyFOX of this police chase that's ended in at least one arrest at this point there in Cajon.